Federalism, the foundation of American government, is showing its effectiveness or ineffectiveness depending on your opinion. On Tuesday, our governor stated yet again that he's leaving reopening plans to the school boards. What he doesn't mention is that the school board must have their plans approved by the VDOE, Department of Health, as well as comply with standards that he released in June. What he doesn't say to the public as he's passing the buck so graciously to the local level is how difficult it is to meet those standards under normal budget constraints, but adding new restrictions that require additional resources while having resources cut from the state and local level is absurd. The public doesn't hear those things. They hear reopening is up to my board. Article 8 of the Constitution of Virginia. We are tasked with providing a system of free public elementary and secondary education for children of all school age throughout the Commonwealth, and shall seek to ensure that an educational program of high quality is established and continually maintained. In Dr. Baker's words, he eloquently reminds us often, we have to keep the main thing the main thing. We are here to educate children. We are tasked with developing an entirely new system following numerous guidelines set forth by the state in a little over a month. I commend this administration for rising to the challenge and creating a system of education that educates children in such a short time period. This plan that gives families options is very similar to those released by other boards across the state because we are all operating within the same restrictions from the Virginia Department of Education and Virginia Department of Health. Here's the reality. Our county, not unlike all the others across the nation, is home to citizens with varying opinions. The wonderful thing about being an American is that our great nation preserves personal liberty, and we are all allowed to have and voice our varying opinions. That brings us to the Return to Learn plan and the various opinions about the proposed plan and the plentiful ideas about the best way to return to school. What is ideal for some may not be ideal for others, and we recognize this disparity. But this plan is the best place to start because it provides options. It provides a means for receiving the education we are constitutionally charged with providing while giving families options. As with most issues, we have roughly 20% who strongly feel we need to be all virtual. We have roughly 20% that feel we need to be open 5 days a week with no precautions. And we have majority, mind you, somewhere everybody else in the middle. Every citizen has a right to think, feel, and voice their opinion. Under this proposed plan, the all virtual people can make that choice, and the people who want a blended version can make that choice as well. There is a reason why many divisions have proposed this blended version, and it's because for many reasons outlined in the state document you can read via the link distributed in the communication last Friday, a return to a full schedule at full occupancy is just not permissible. We can't open the schools without Virginia Department of Education and Department of Health plan submission. Under current restrictions, we would need to triple our square footage of building space to meet the new social distancing requirements, and the 1,044 bus runs per shift would increase to over 3,000. Obviously, those are just two examples of how the every kid, everyday option is just not feasible under current conditions. Few divisions around the state are comfortable with accepting a higher level of liability than we are. To parents and students, comparing the spring virtual program to that plan to be administered beginning this fall is like comparing apples to oranges. The programs will differ in many ways. The spring instructions from the state were spontaneous. It was an emergency system that stressed review and maintaining skills. With this new year brings new information, accountability, specific login times, grading, more interaction, and more planning for the teachers. It is unfair to judge your expectations for the 2021 virtual year on the concluding months of last school year. For those sending student virus transmission rates, I thank you, but I'm aware of those statistics. We can't educate face-to-face without adults being involved. There is a risk to all staff with regards to returning to school. Their safety matters. Their opinions matter. There are many specific questions left to be addressed from staff, students, families, and they will be answered, mostly at the building level. But they can't be fully envisioned until a plan is submitted to the Department of Education and Department of Health. We can't put the cart before the horse and give specifics to a plan that is not yet approved by us or the state. The principals are hard at work finalizing specific details, and we need to keep this process moving forward so that questions and gaps can continue to be filled in. One thing is certain, questions will be answered, concerns will be addressed, equity will be a main priority despite many known challenges within the system, and the success of the plan depends greatly on everyone's participation in the current 5-question survey. Staff and parents need to make their wishes known so we have an accurate numbers moving forward. I know it's very cliche, but as Jerry Maguire said, help me help you. Please fill out the survey and return it to the schools so we can get the next steps in place for the 2021 school year, no matter which option we endorse this evening.
Thank you, Ms. Gramp. Mr.